Senior Minister Loong says the Elected Presidency, Group Representation Constituencies and Non-Constituency Member of Parliament schemes have stood the test of time and served the country well. He says the institutions safeguard Singapore's long-term interests and help maintain a stable political system. His remarks came at the launch of a book by former Deputy Prime Minister S. Jayakumar, detailing how the schemes were established and refined. Nadirah Zaidi reports.
15 years in the making, a book detailing the process behind 3 schemes: the Elected Presidency, Group Representation Constituencies, Non-Constituency Member of Parliament. Written by former Deputy Prime Minister S. Jayakumar for Singaporeans, it traces 3 decades of careful planning and refinements.
It is a pity that the public does not have that understanding and insight to the way in which Cabinet discusses important matters. And as the book reveals, discussions are detailed, thorough and robust.
At the book launch, Senior Minister Loong recalled that the Cabinet had many disagreements and many possible models were suggested and discarded.
From conceptual idea to implemented scheme, the team revised their thinking quite significantly.
Assembly also highlighted how Singapore's constitutional innovations evolved in response to changing circumstances. The Elected Presidency was conceived as a safeguard against a profligate government spending the nation's reserves. The NCMP scheme followed the 1981 Anson by-election, when opposition candidate J.B. Jeyaretnam won a parliamentary seat for the first time since independence, highlighting the importance of opposition voices in Parliament. And when race took centre stage in the 1984 election, it added urgency to efforts to ensure multiracial representation in Parliament, leading to the GRC scheme. The book looks back at what the late founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew thought about having a president with wide-ranging executive powers.
Singaporeans not only need to understand the great harm that a rogue government can do to the country, they must also be very careful not to elect presidents who will exceed their roles and responsibilities and cause the system to malfunction. But on the whole, Singapore's political system and long-term stability are much better served with a check and balance afforded by an elected president than without.
Assembly also highlighted how opposition parties continue to claim to reject the NCMP scheme, but have never turned it down since 1984.
On the contrary, they have made full use of the NCMP scheme to raise the public profiles of narrowly losing candidates in the hope of improving their chances of winning outright in the next election, as has happened more than once. But this is par for the course.
He added that the book also shared a little-known side of his father, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, whom he said was always willing to be persuaded to change his mind.
It shows what it means for the Prime Minister to be primus inter pares, first among equals in the Cabinet, and how Cabinet collective responsibility is meant to work.